Hi everybody, happy Wednesday. So happy to be here with you today. I wanted to jump on again. I want to get on here once a week to say hi to everybody and to kind of give you an update of what's happening. And today I was thinking about what to talk about, what topic, what do I share, right? Everything's kind of out there, and what the first thing that comes to my mind is always thinking about how everybody thinks so differently, right? Sometimes we think that our way is the right way or our way is a highway, and it's not necessarily the way for everybody. So I kind of wanted to put this information out there, share a little bit about what I've been working with in my experience, and in hopes to somehow maybe share a little bit of wisdom for our everyday lives, right? So I see clients from every age group, 5, 10, 11, 72, 86. It doesn't matter, and everybody in between. And many times I run into older individuals who have experienced a lot of trauma in their life, and they say, well, you know, I'm old. I've kind of worked with it all my life. It's kind of is what it is. I've learned to deal with it. And it kind of shocks me that sometimes we think we're deserving of carrying on trauma that we really don't need to be carrying. And for some people, they've, tried other methods and they've done other type of therapies, and they always come out saying, I don't like to talk about it. I hate talking about it. I'm constantly reliving it. And it's very true. The minute you're thinking about something, your subconscious thinks you're really living it. So the body kind of starts to freak out. Many times people are set in their ways, and there is no talking to them about changing anything. So many times I'm asked, what kind of people do you like to work with? And the type of people that I enjoy working with are those that are ready to heal the trauma that they've allowed to keep them kind of stuck, right? And many of us have gone through experiences that, yes, although they've shaped and grown and helped us grow in some area, there's a lot of things that people say they have to hold on to because of conviction, because they think they have to hold on to it. There's a lot of grief that happens in people. So say, for example, somebody lost a loved one, and they start feeling guilty when they don't think about them as much, or they don't go visit them, or things of that nature. And many times I've noticed that there's a lot of guilt with very many people. So even though one person may think one thing, it doesn't always mean that that's necessarily the truth, because the truth is different for everybody. So I want to highly encourage you guys to share a little bit about your healing journey. There's a lot of people out there that have healed from so many things, and sometimes we tend to kind of keep things to ourselves, and that's okay for the time being while you're healing. But there's many people out there looking for other modalities, other people, things to talk about, other support groups, and many of us aren't sharing that knowledge. So I want to help you guys understand that yes, a lot of people do suffer in silence. There are some people, anxiety, depression, everything's pretty much labeled, but a lot of people don't really know what it looks like. And a lot of people think that they have to have it forever, like it's something they have, they put it on like a tattoo, like a label, and before you know it, I am so-and-so and I have depression, and that's okay. There's many times that we can push forth and overcome so many things, and we need somebody to help guide us into what that path looks like. And for many of us, it's unknown. Like I've shared my journey many times about how I thought it was normal to have the thoughts that I was having. And we talk about, my mom, I remember she would talk to me about certain things, and I didn't understand why people thought a certain way. And she said, every head is its own world. And people are driven by their thoughts. They're driven by their opinions. They're driven by the way they were raised, by what their parents told them, by their experiences. And nobody can ever shake that. So when we're talking to other people, we somehow take our world and think it's supposed to fit into their world. And it doesn't. They're two totally different worlds. But when you think about compassion, when you think about healing, when you think about love, it really is the same for everybody, right? Because we're open to it. Many of us can receive it if we're ready to change our life, if we're ready to step into our glory, if we're ready to step into being more deserving of the great things that can happen in our lives when we start letting go of the things that are holding us back, right? I was recently asked by somebody what my goal is in life, what my drive is. I said, well, honestly, I like to help people see things from a different perspective. And they said, how so? I said, well, so many times because our thoughts have molded and shaped who we are, right? Our experiences. We have a pair of glasses on, and that's all it sees is our life, our experiences. And very, very unfortunately, not very frequently do we ever stop to think about what other people's glasses see, right? So for example, I have my glasses, and this is my perspective, what I've seen, my experiences. Sometimes I have to take them off and put on my clients' sunglasses, right? Or their glasses to see what their world looks like. So when they come in, I have to hold a place of neutrality, and there is no judgment. There's always love. You can't go wrong with love, because once you share that, you're more able, you're a little more able to, can't even say that word right. You are able to look at people for who they are, where they've been, and how they've overcome so much. And what I always like to tap into is thinking about the strengths that they have, right? So many times we focus on our weaknesses. This is wrong with me. I do this, I do that. And I always ask, what's right with them? Tell me a little bit about what you like in your life. What exactly have you created that you love or that you enjoy or whatever? And from that perspective, we start looking at things a little differently. So always meet people where they are. And I know many times everybody's so wrapped up in their own world. We have our own issues happening, our own family, our own friends. We have our own chaos happening in our life. So sometimes we're so focused on ours that we don't really take time to look at other people's lives and how they're suffering and what they're doing. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want you to start saving the world, but I do want you to have a little more compassion for people in this world. And you'll be surprised how much that grows you as an individual as well. I know that there was times where I had people who were suffering from depression and anxiety, and sometimes I would have them go out and help somebody else who was less fortunate, who was also struggling, and that builds their confidence and empowers them in a way that nothing else ever does. But there's nothing like talking to other people, communicating, engaging in other people's growth, and from then we all start helping each other. And the goal is for all of us to help one another, because we are all connected. You know, somebody may get on your nerves and I don't like that person or whatever, but there's a reason why when you're around these people, they make you feel a certain way, either good or bad, because we're all connecting, we're all feeding each other our energies, our beliefs, or whatever you want to call them, and it helps start shaping us into people that we want to be. Well, if you want to be better or not, that's entirely up to you, but influence is huge. And what we can do as a human race is be kinder to each other, be more compassionate. Know that our ideas, our experiences are not the only ones, that people have also have their own ideas, that also have their own belief systems, can also be on the right path. And there's nothing wrong with that. I have Vietnam veterans that are here, 75, 80 years old, and they tell me, oh, honey, thank you, but, what I have is something that could never go away. I've lived with it for so many years. And then one session, we're healing trauma that they've been carrying for 60, 70 years. And it's funny because I always ask that question, like, what would your life look like if you no longer had this trauma? What would your life look like if you heal this memory that prevents you from really tapping into your potential, right? And we always think about things like, oh, potential, yes, we can do it. But I've noticed that many times people who walk through this door, they're people who have amazing gifts, and somehow they're plagued with depression and anxiety because they don't understand human behavior. They don't understand things that happened. So it puts them into this weird place of sadness. And it doesn't take much effort. Have you guys noticed that it doesn't take much effort to be sad? Like, you could just be sad and that's it. Many people don't know that they can control that you can choose to be sad or you can choose to be happy. Yes, life happens. There's circumstances that happen, but it's all about perspective. Everything we see, everything we experience in our life can shape us, but it shapes us the way we want them, because we're definitely the potters. We get to shape that clay however it comes and build whatever we want in our lives. It's entirely up to us. So I wanted to come on here to share something totally different, and then this came up. I don't know why, but I'm just gonna roll with it and keep talking because it's really heavy on my heart that many of us are kind of just living our lives the way we're known to live it and just kind of going through the motions. We're living on autopilot. And for many people that I've had the privilege of working with, they say they want something different. They're hungry, they're looking, but they just don't know what it is. So the goal is to tap into that unfulfilled potential, right? That is hiding beneath the surface of trauma, of negative experiences, of people that hurt us. I had a client call me this morning and she says, I'm looking for an office and I just feel like this, whatever. And I said, just listen to your heart. Your heart's never going to mislead you. And she's, yeah, well, the heart's always getting me into trouble. I said, no, what happens is that we give our heart away to people and they don't know what to do with it sometimes. Why? Because they're also not well. They're broken. They have issues they haven't gone through or whatever. I said, but the heart always guides us in the right direction. It's our belief in people and sometimes giving a little too much than we should that somehow starts destroying us from, not destroying, from kind of, it makes it so we don't really trust the heart, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody, but I'm trying to talk about something and I don't know why I'm talking about this, but I'm still talking about it. So I'm going to keep going. Okay, here's the goal. The goal is to get to a place where we can all look within ourselves and beyond ourselves, if that makes sense, okay? So if I'm driving down the street and I'm late or I'm going somewhere, it's all about me, and I'm not looking at the world around me. And this is kind of what's happening with a lot of people. I mean, all of you guys go out there and you're eating with your families or you're doing stuff, whatever, and everybody's on their cell phone or they're on electronics, and nowhere do you see communication in the family anymore. It's like something weird, right? Like foreign. When I see it, it makes me really happy because it's just so rare. So I'm spending more time looking inwards, really diving into myself, finding out what I can do to help build a better human race. And yeah, that's a huge undertaking, right? Yes, it is. But if I feel that way and I do my part every day, who's to say that's not going to spread? Because that's my goal, right? My goal is to help shift people into thinking a little more other than the material stuff, the stress, work, traffic, materialism and all that good stuff. How are we going to do that? With love. That's the only way you can do it, right? There is no other way that has been successful. I know for many people the word love is either overrated or they've defined it very differently, and that's okay. What is your definition of love? How do you feel loved, right? We talk about love languages. Everybody feels loved a different way, right? Whether it be through random acts of kindness, of service, of words, things of that nature. But how do you define love? And a lot of people don't know how to define that. I want to challenge you to think about that today. Is when somebody says the word love, what comes to mind? What do you think about? What do you not think about? Because for many of us, we start to believe that our efforts are not giving fruit. You help, and you do, and then people are just like, ugh. The problem is that we're helping people who aren't ready for us. We're helping people who aren't willing to see what they need to do or are willing to take on the challenge of actually overcoming the things that they have to overcome. And that's okay. It's just not their time. So if we really start focusing on those individuals that do really want our help and the individuals that really are looking for a way, those are the ones that you're going to start seeing fruits with. Who's to say that once you start building them, they're not going to go out there and help build other people? The time keeps changing, right? So what's not for one person one time could be for that person the next time. We never know that. So I want to encourage you guys to go out there, first of all, more than anything, is to really think about how you can empower yourself to feel like you can go around smiling with people, how you can be more observant of other people, how you can help put a smile on somebody's face. That's a huge undertaking for, one to say, I'm going to change the world, but why can't you do it one person at a time? There's nothing wrong with that, right? I mean, what else can you do that has more lasting effects, right? Everything we dive into, we spend our time with, whether it's social media, whether it's parties, whether it's gatherings, whatever it is, how much are you taking away from those things? Is it really helping you grow as an individual, be more compassionate, be more loving, be more understanding? And those are the questions that I ask people is what exactly are you doing to empower yourself to be who you need to be? There's many people that know what they have to do and they just don't want to do it. Whether it's lack of drive, lack of motivation, I don't know. For everybody, it's very different. All I know is that through the experiences I've gained through my own journey of, depression and anxiety and just wanting to learn and know whatever, like I didn't stop. Yes, I would get knocked down, but I thought there's something better. There has to be something better. So those are the individuals. I'm asked all the time, Velia, what type of clients do you take? And I'm like, man, I take people who are ready to heal, to go to the next level. For the individuals, it's funny because I have a contract with every one of my clients, and I said, you have to promise me something if I take you on as a client. If and when I take you on as a client, I said, the minute I help you and I'm teaching you tools to heal your trauma and to heal the things that hurt you and that you're overcoming and you're building, you promise that you're going to help other people. And they're like, yeah, most of them that do come over here do have hearts of services. So it's always one of those things where I can, plant seeds and help them, and then they're out helping other people. And that's the goal, right? It's to build other leaders, is to help heal the world, cause a chain of reaction. And there's always a contract. It's a pinky promise. So I remind them of that. But it's very interesting when people that really do want to help shift people come together. I see clients of mine who have built friendships and they're out there doing things in this world and they never think about it's never going to happen or we can't do it, because those are thoughts that we don't need to entertain. we talk about how we are the thinker of the thoughts, right? That we do control every single one of our thoughts. Initially, the thoughts that come in, we really can't control, but we can control how long they stay there. We can control what it is that they allow us to feel and what they allow us to be, how they allow us to behave. So a lot of people start talking about, control your emotions, your behaviors. By that time, it's a little more difficult. When we start controlling our thoughts, that's when things start changing in our lives. And they ask me, oh, I'm the coach. I'm a coach. I'm a mindset coach. I'm a heart coach. I'm a this coach. It doesn't matter. Whatever I need to help coach you, to help you overcome and live who you were truly designed to be, that's exactly what we tackle. So I want to say hello to everybody. Thanks so much. Office got a facelift. I put some pictures up. It feels a lot more homey. Still taking a couple new clients. Thank you so much for the awesome response. I've gotten a lot of new clients this past couple weeks when I started advertising. There's still some spots for a couple more. I know I've worked with many people and I ask them, hey, if this works for you, if you're doing well, if you're healing, you're off, you're on. I get text messages all the time, and it's kind of a bittersweet moment where I'm like, hey, you don't have to come see me every week now or every other week, or how about just once a month, just to touch base? And they're like, well, I want to see you every week. I'm like, I know, me too, but you don't need me anymore. And I get responses like, well, I need you, but I just don't need you as much. So that's fun, right? Because the ultimate goal is for you to not need me forever, right? There is times where we want to have friendships for a long time, and that's great. When you go to therapy, when you do coaching, it's to help you. It's a short term. You go in, you get your things done, you heal, you do whatever, and then you transition to the next level of your life, and then you tap in for support, which is always amazing. But there's so many things that happen in this office. The energy is wonderful. This week has been amazing. The past couple weeks have been amazing. And the people that I've had the privilege to meet and to work with, I'm just overwhelmed by the response that I've been receiving, and how much everything encourages me to continue to move forward. There was a time in my life where people just thought I was crazy, like, Velia, you're just too happy and people are never gonna get it, and you do too much or whatever. And yeah, I would work really hard because I believed in my dreams. I believed in a world where people can talk to one another. I believed in a world where we can actually smile at one another, and I believe in a world where our trauma shapes us. As long as we know how to heal it and take care of the experiences that we have, we can still have the experiences, but we don't have to have the pain. And with a lot of new modalities that are coming out now, the things that are shifting, the many techniques that we use to help you get there, it's amazing, and it's not cookie cutter, it's not one size fits all, and that's why we have a bunch of tools to use here. So many of the things that take place in this office are truly amazing. I can't even begin to describe the things that take place in this office. Everything is confidential, one-on-one, and just the ripple effects that it's creating up here in the high desert, I'm really excited about. I'm having a friend come by next month so we can work with the individuals who have already gone through the intensive training. I built a customized 10-week program to help people really start where they are and thrive. And it's one-on-one support. It's amazing stuff. And I'm so excited for those people that are going to fill those slots. So thanks so much for watching. Wanted to say hello. I know many of you are going through your struggles. I know that many of you are thinking about the things that are not working, the things that are working, and why, and all that good stuff. Stop asking yourself those questions, and let's get down to the root cause of what it is that's going on. Don't carry the load much longer than you need to, because there really is a whole lot of help. There are so many modalities right now that are way beyond their years. It's just amazing to see healing in instance. There's negative memories being healed in 45 seconds. And I say that, and some people come in and they're like, they laugh, yeah, right. And then they experience it and you just get off. Like I had a client yesterday, and she just smiled the whole time. It was the most amazing thing. But that's where my energy comes from, is the healing and helping people continue to move forward despite their past, despite their grief, despite everything that's happened. And there is no time limit for anything. Sometimes we're led to believe, oh, that happened so many years ago. It doesn't matter. It's like it happened today. So let's address things. Let's take care of them. They don't need to be lingering or bothering you any longer. Make sure to give me a call. I have my phone number on my page. We can always talk on the phone. I enjoy giving free consultations, 15-20 minute consultations over the phone, just to get to know me, because you have no clue who I am, right? You don't want to come in here and talk about your personal business if you have no clue who I am. But There's some information on there about me, and I would love to hear from you guys. If this is something that you want to do, or of somebody that would benefit from this type of healing, please share. Let's share the wealth. Would love to talk to any of you guys. So I look forward to hearing from you. Have an amazing day. We'll talk to you guys soon.